Today's episode of New on Music Row features artists in the 5 picks of the week from Alabama, California, Arizona, Florida, and South Carolina. They're all over the map. And you know what? That's a great thing. Stick around. We'll get on into all the details right here on New on Music Row, right here, only on the Rise Network. Hey everyone, welcome to this episode of New on Music Row. I'm Chris Miles, your host, and we do quite a lot of different things here. We talk about all the new music that's coming out. We talk about music that came out last week and what it does as far as the streams, charts are concerned. And then I introduce you to some new artists, and every once in a while I have some great clips and amazing footage for you as well too, some behind the scenes interviews as well. So that's one of the things I wanted to talk to you about. We're going to start doing every once in a while, you'll see a new episode pop up on Monday. And if that episode pops up on Monday, that's a bonus episode. So consider that a free gift for you from us for being fans of New on Music Row right here on the Rise Network. One of those is coming up fairly soon here. It's going to be some behind-the-scenes footage with some up-and-coming artists that I had a chance to sit down and talk to, and also somebody who you've seen before on New on Music Row. But I'm not going to give any more away. That's enough for you for now. Let's go on to the show, shall we? So, taking a look at what happened last week, the 5 picks of the week, I had Ain't a Bad Life with Thomas Rhett and Jordan Davis. Where did that end up? I think I think this was going to be no surprise. 2.5 million streams. I mean, it's Thomas Rhett and Jordan Davis, which, by the way, both of them are out on tour right now. Jordan Davis is going to be in town in the Chicagoland area in a couple of weeks here. I believe it's like the second or third weekend of October. He's going to be here with Mitchell Tenpenny. I'm looking forward to that show. It's going to be a great show. I love Mitchell Tenpenny. Jordan Davis, I love him too. I'm more of a Mitchell Tenpenny fan. But anyway, that show's coming up. We'll probably have some footage from that as well too. Then next pick from last week was Dog Years from Hardy. Somebody told me that it's fun. It was funny to hear a dog sing about their perspective about drinking beer from the grass. So did you catch that in those lyrics? I thought that was pretty interesting. It's a cute song. I thought it was cute. So much so that it got 898,000 streams last night. So, or not last night, but last week. Probably got that many streams in a night because it's Hardy. But anyway, he's going to be in town in McHenry next year. As a matter of fact, there's a country music festival that goes up north in McHenry, Illinois. That is no S there, by the way. Tickets are on sale for that now too, I know. So if you want to check that out, go ahead as well too. Next, we had Josh Ross was Scared of Getting Sober. Remember, I shared a little information with you about a family member of mine who is facing some challenges there. Good news, progress on that. They have moved into trying to get some things taken care of. So that's pretty cool to hear. Also cool to hear was that this song, Scared of Getting Sober from Josh Ross, had about 737,000 streams last week. So thank you very much because, you're contributed to that. Other people did as well, too, but you did as well. So give yourself a round of applause. And when you do that, you do this. So there you go. Yes, I know. I had to do the dad joke. There you go. Next was Drew Baldridge with Call Me If You Get One. He landed at about 61,000 streams. Drew, up-and-coming artist, so, kind of where we expected it to land there. And then last but not least, the very first Rising Star Spotlight from the very first episode way back on the 25th of April. You can go back and listen to that one here if you want to. It's available on Spotify, Apple, and YouTube as well. Was Ty Myers. He was our Rising Star Spotlight back then. Well, he's got a new song that came out last week. It's Come On Over, Baby. I think we missed that last week. But when the press release stuff came out, I think they did not have the baby part in there. So maybe it was a typo and it got fixed. Either way, 241,000 streams from last week. So not bad at all. And Ty Myers, if you haven't checked him out yet, I'm telling you, you need to. He's a powerhouse. He's got the bluesy side. He's got the guitar riffs, and he's got a very smooth voice that the ladies tell me is really great. So there you go. I think it's great too. I've listened to some of his stuff. I love it. My favorite song from him, Tie That Binds and Drinking Alone. Those are another great one. And then Let Him Talk. All great songs from him. In case you haven't checked out Ty Myers, get off the couch. Put in those earbuds and start listening to Ty Myers. I'm telling you, because you're gonna thank me later. You really are, and you're gonna enjoy him, and you probably enjoy some of the other stuff on the show as well too. Speaking of that, we do have a playlist available on Spotify. It's called New on Music Row. All the songs that we feature on this show are on that playlist. So go ahead and subscribe to that as well too. That gets updated on Fridays, just like the show does. So every Friday there'll be new music in there. I'll throw some extra tidbits in there as well too. It's usually stuff I talk about on the show, but it's also a great way for you to hear some of the stuff because we can't always do that for you. Licensing and all that kind of stuff. So, but that's the way to do it. So it's on Spotify. Sorry if you're on Apple Music, but eventually we'll get to that at some point. I've got to work some angles there and shake some hands and make all the deals, but you know what I mean. But the things I don't have to do is tell you or pick the 5 picks of the week for this week because that's something I can do on my own, and that's exactly what I did. So the very first pick I have for this week is a band called the Red Clay Straws. You may not have heard of them yet. They are folkish, country, and they've kind of getting their groove on, so to speak. People who listen to the bluegrass and some of the other offshoots of country music already know who they are. They've got a huge following, and you should check them out on Spotify or Apple or wherever you listen to your music. They're from Mobile, Alabama, and the song this week that we're featuring in the 5 picks of the week is People Hatin'. People Hatin'. Of course, the Red Clay Straws. Some songs to check out from them: Wondering Why, Wanna Be Loved, I'm Still Fine, and Stone's Throw. Some other great stuff in their catalog as well, too, that you can check out. So give them a listen to, and then, like I said, listen to this playlist on Spotify. You'll be able to hear People Hatin' when you click on the playlist. Now, moving on, Malibu, California, we're featuring a gal by the name of Colbie Caillat, who, if you've been into pop music for the last 10, 15 years, something like that, you know who she is. She decided to branch out, and she's taken all of her hits and turned them into country songs. And this is another song from that new album that came out that I think you're going to enjoy. Falling for You, Colbie Caillat featuring Maren Morris. Great song to check out. That's going to be hitting the radios today, as a matter of fact. Of course, Colbie Caillat from Malibu, California. We mentioned that. She's been on the 5 picks of the week a couple of times. The first time she was on there with Realize, that's a remake that she did of that song with Mitchell Tenpenny. And then Live Without, which she had Maddie and Tay give her a hand on. And then, of course, today's is Falling for You with Maren Morris. Some other songs that are on that new album. She did a new version of Bubbly, a new version of Lucky, a new version If You Love Me, Let Me Go. That's with Russell Dickerson. She's got some great stuff. And if you were a fan of hers, like when she was on the pop side of things, you're going to enjoy some of these twists. I had a friend of mine who was listening to Falling for You the other day, and she was like, oh my God, this is so awesome. I loved this song back in the day, and now I love it even more because it's got a country version to a country twang to it. So good all around choice as far as music is concerned with Colbie Caillat there. I think you're going to enjoy it as well. Moving on from Flagstaff, Arizona, we featured this gal last week in the Rising Star Spotlight. She's got a new song out. It's called Girl of Constant Sorrow, and her name is Avery Ann. We talked all about her last week, so go back to last week's episode. You can learn all the interesting tidbits that I found about her. But that's going to be the song for her this week, or one of the 5 picks for her this week. I think you're going to enjoy it as well. If you've heard her with Narcissist, you know kind of what she does and her style of music, so to speak. Wish You Well is another great song from her. Indigo was with her and Sam Barber. And then Loved You More as well as another duet that she did. That's most of the things that she's been doing is she's got a lot of duets with different artists or featured spotlight kind of stuff with artists. But now she's branching into her own, and Girl of Constant Sorrow is her latest hit out there, available on all kinds of platforms right now. And you'll probably be hearing it on the airwaves fairly soon here as well, too. Next up, Ashley Cook's got a new song this week. It's called The Hell You Are. She's, of course, from Parkland, Florida. And, I mean, I can't say enough about this gal. She's got so many great songs out there. And I feel like she's one of those artists that, she got a huge start on TikTok, got a lot of her fame on TikTok. And a lot of people, it seems to me at least, and this is just my personal opinion here, it seems to me a lot of artists who get their start on TikTok, some of these bigger promotional record studios and things of that nature just kind of look at them and go, they're just okay. Ashley Cook's not one of them. I mean, she had a huge hit out there as well. And it kind of catapulted her into superstardom. Swear Words was her last hit that came out. That was, I think that was back in like early August. We featured it on the show. The F Word, which which I thought was great. Maybe you will as well too. Never Till Now. I Almost Do. Other great songs from her, and then Over When We're Sober as well. That's with her and Brantley Gilbert. So Ashley Cook, somebody to check out as well. Um, Last but not least, I'm branching out here for the 5 picks of the week. I went with a guy by the name of Marcus King. There's also a Marcus King band as well. This one features Noah Cyrus. And if you are a fan of Chris Stapleton and more of like the funky stuff that Chris Stapleton does, then I think you're going to enjoy Marcus King. The song is called The Shadows. It's brand new music from him coming out today. He, of course, is from Greenville, South Carolina. He's just got this soulful voice, kind of like Chris does. And this song just really works. A lot of his stuff has this like funky blues feel to it, kind of like Chris Stapleton. And no surprise that this is another one of those great songs. Heartlands was the song that I heard of his a while back, and that made me go, oh, wow, let me listen to this guy a little bit more and figure out who he is. And I'm telling you, this is one of those artists that if you're into the bluesy, funky side of country, that like Chris Stapleton, for example, that's the biggest one that comes to mind. You're going to enjoy this guy as well. Some songs to check out from him after you listen to The Shadows, which, by the way, is going to be on the playlist today. That's available on Spotify. Sucker is a great song to learn from, to listen to from him. Heartlands, of course, like I mentioned, that's one of my favorites of his. Too Much Whiskey, never can you have too much whiskey. No, I'm just kidding. And then The Wall, which has nothing to do with Pink Floyd, just mentioning that right there. And then Wildflowers and Wine, which to me it's a really cool, interesting song. And like I said, all of his stuff has this bluesy funk like feel to it. So if you're the kind of person who likes to move to your music and bebop around, I think you're going to enjoy Marcus King. So those are the 5 picks of the week. Let's give you a quick recap here. People Hating, The Red Clay Strays. I think I said Straws, so let's correct that. It's the Red Clay Strays. I think earlier I said Straws, but it is easy for me to say it. The Red Clay Strays. People Hating. Falling for You, Colbie, Caillat, and Maren Morris. Girl of Constant Sorrow from Avery Ann. Ashley Cook's The Hell You Are. And last but not least, the Marcus King or the Marcus King Band with a song called Shadows. That's going to bring us to our Rising Star Spotlight of the week. This gal has been opening up for Keith Urban on his latest tour. She is from Lake City, Florida, and she's got such an interesting story that led the path that led her to where she is absolutely, it's astounding in certain areas. Her name is Carly Scott Collins. And like I said, she's opening up. She's the very first act for Keith Urban's current tour. So if you're one of those people that I don't like to go see the opening acts, then you're going to miss Carly Scott Collins. Although the name may be familiar to you, especially if you watch sitcoms like The Class, or maybe if you saw the film The Hottie and the Naughty, which was from, and I said naughty, not naughty, okay? I think that was on Netflix. Or maybe if you saw her, if you watched Once Upon a Time, the ABC fantasy show. Yeah, she's been on a whole lot of TV. This is kind of where she got her start. She began acting at the age of 6. That's where she landed the role on the sitcom The Class. And then in 2008, she played a younger version of Paris Hilton in the film The Hottie and the Naughty. And then after that, she took on the role of Gretel in the ABC fantasy series Once Upon a Time. And that's the one that, surprisingly, she's called her favorite. And I can see why. If you watched Once Upon a Time, I think that really was probably her best role so far in the things that I've seen her do. She's also done a lot of voiceover work, including the animated film Open Season 2. And she's done some stuff for the sitcom The Family Guy. And she's been in some commercials as well, too. So you may know the name. You probably would know her face if you saw her face, especially if you're a fan of, like I said, Once Upon a Time. But here's the cool thing. When she was 9, she was asked to audition for an acting role, and they wanted her to learn how to play guitar. And this is where her love for music kind of started. She fell in love with the guitar, and she basically never put it down. So the entire time, I can imagine this. This is kind of what I picture. If you've ever done any acting before in your life, there's always people that are backstage that are kind of doing their own thing. And I feel like Carly Scott Collins would have been one of those people that while she was backstage in between takes or waiting for certain things, she was probably playing guitar and probably singing songs. She probably had like a little group of people around her and she was just doing her thing. I mean, that's what I think. It's just my personal opinion. And then that's kind of what led her to to pursue music. She never stopped playing. She never put it down, and that's pretty cool. And if you know more about her story, you can kind of see how that works because she grew up with a diverse mix of music. Her dad played like Guns N' Roses and Alice in Chains, heavy metal while he was home. And then her grandfather introduced her to country music, like Willie Nelson. And then as she got older, her taste kind of expanded. She got into some Bob Dylan, some Tom Petty, and you can hear all of these influences in her music. And we'll get to some of her music in just a second as to the songs that I think you should listen to as well. But you can hear these influences in all of her songs, especially her delivery, the style of vocals that she does. She's got a very raspy, bluesy kind of voice. Somebody compared her to Lainey Wilson at one point. It's a couple songs that they've heard from her. She felt like she was trying to be Lainey Wilson-esque. But I think, what her main stuff is like a bluesy, raspy quality to her voice. She's got an album called Flight Risk. She basically produced and played almost all the instruments on the song. It's just kind of what she wanted to do. It was her artistic vision rather for the album. And then she learned how to play bass guitar, banjo, and violin, all for these recording sessions. So, and that's kind of, to me, that's the cornerstone of a really, really amazing talent. Somebody who is not afraid to step out of their boundaries and learn how to play different instruments. I mean, granted, they're string instruments, and some people could say, "Oh, well, it's not that hard to go from a guitar to a banjo to a bass guitar." Okay, fine, but let's talk about the number of strings, right? If you're playing a regular bass, that's 4, not 6, right? And then a violin, now you're playing it up here underneath your chin. And, there's no fret on a violin at all. So you got to know exactly where you are to hit those notes exactly where you need to. So I wouldn't lean too much on it's not that hard. It takes some skill and it takes a lot of talent. So, but Carly Scott Collins is the Rising Star Spotlight of the Week. I've been listening to a bunch of her stuff on repeat this whole week. Heavenly has been one of the songs that I've listened to pretty heavily. Denim is another one. I don't know what it is about that song. I just love it. It's the quality of her voice, the way she gets into it, the presentation that she does, and just the overall. I love the song. It's the mood of the song. Sometimes the mood of the song just gets you, or maybe you don't even listen to the lyrics. You're just into the melody and the groove, and you're just jamming with it, and you're just like, yeah, this is it. Well, to me, Denim is one of those songs. American Boy, also great from her. Quit You, Bad Boy, that's on her new album. And then Cowboy Shh, I can't say the rest of it because, I could, because technically this isn't like, being broadcasted over the airwaves, but I'm not going to. But check out Cowboy Shh. It's a really funny play on guys who just like to go out and who are players. Let's put it that way. But the cowboy version of that, right? So picking up the story with Carly, she moved to Nashville in 2019, and then she landed a publishing deal with Warner Chappell Music, and this speaks volumes to the type of person that she is, the talent that she is. She had notebooks filled with song ideas that she's been collecting since she was 12. To the exact number, I'm not exactly sure, but I've got friends of mine that are in the music industry, and I've seen their notebook collection, and some of them have like 50 or 60 notebooks just filled with song lyrics or ideas or just, some random stuff. I mean, when I was a kid, I used to walk around with like a little day planner thing because I just have random thoughts come through my head. And I wrote a couple of songs as well, too. Nothing that I would ever probably produced. Most of them were parodies of other songs. We did a song back in the day. Skid Row had a song called 18 in Life. Well, we changed the lyrics and called it 18 and Drunk. But anyway, back to Carly, because we're not going to talk about the stuff that I did. She made her Grand Ole Opry debut in June of 2024, where she was accompanied by producer Nathan Chapman, rather. She's been, like I said, the opening act for Keith Urban's High and Alive tour, which is currently going on. It was just here in Chicago a couple of weeks ago. Alana Springsteen was also there as well. She's going to be another up-and-coming artist that we're going to feature on one of these shows as well, too. She's absolutely amazing. You need to check her out. But check out Carly Scott Collins' debut album. It's called Flight Risk. It was just released last month, basically. Billboard has called it a powerful, defining statement about Carly's artistry and vision. Well, Collins' artistry and vision. And you know what? What more can I say? Check out the album. See for yourself. Check out Flight Risk. Check out some of the songs that we're going to have in the playlist as well, too. I'll feature a couple of songs from hers in the playlist that you can get on Spotify for right now. New on Music Row is what it's called. It's going to have all the songs from all the shows that we did. But that's the Rising Star Spotlight of the Week. Again, Carly Scott Collins. Check her out. Especially check out Cowboy Shh, because, I just like saying it. That's really what it boils down to. So let's move on, and we'll get into the birthdays and stuff that happened in country music history on this date. So October the 3rd, no country artist per se born on this date, but there is an artist who was born on this date that is married to a country artist, and she's got a couple of hits with this particular guy. She was born in Fullerton, California. She is a pop and ska singer. She's recorded multiple hits with the band that she was a part of. No doubt you'll get who she is. And then she married this guy who was married to another country gal, and he did it the right way. He got divorced, and then he got, they met on The Voice, I think it was, and they pursued their relationship, and now they're happily married. So who am I talking about? Did you get it from when I landed the No Doubt hint? Yeah, or maybe I should have said another song, Bananas, Bananas, right? See, I did it again. Anyway, okay, so have you figured it out yet? Yeah. Born on this date, 1969, Gwen Stefani. And of course, you know her from being married to Blake Shelton. A couple of great songs from them, Nobody But You and Happy Anywhere. Check those out if you haven't already. Great duets from them as well. So happy birthday, Gwen. On this date in country music history, 1969, Johnny Cash was number one at the U.S. Country Music Album Chart with At Sam Quinton, which was basically a live album from the prison. It was a follow-up to Cash's previous live album, the critically acclaimed At Folsom Prison. The album was nominated for a number of Grammys, including Album of the Year. It won Best Male Country Vocal Performance for A Boy Named Sue. So check that out. It's on Spotify. I've seen it. It's also on Apple Music as well, too. So you can listen to that whole album while you're chilling and maybe having your favorite whiskey out on the patio. I think I'm going to do that tonight. Anyway, it's going to be nice around here. Moving on to 2005, Arista. That's it. Arista Records released Jesus Take the Wheel. Do you know that song? I'm sure you do. Carrie Underwood, yeah. American Idol, nobody knows who she is. Anyway, of course you do. It was written by Brent James, Hillary Lindsay, and Gordy Sampson. It was the first single from her debut album, Some Hearts. The track won 2 major awards, a Breakthrough Video of the Year and Female Video of the Year at the CMT Awards. And, what more can you say? That's just it. I mean, Jesus Take the Wheel, pretty much the thing that put her on the map. So if you don't know that song, then you probably weren't listening to Carrie Underwood. But let's move on to the next thing. 2014, Reba McEntire basically invited Little Big Town to join the Grand Ole Opry. They accepted, and they were inducted in by Vince Gill on October 17th. And my camera guy was just telling me about a very important thing, and I'm sorry that I missed this. Brent James did unfortunately just pass away recently, so even bigger that song kind of came into the limelight, so to speak. I remember I think it was on Instagram or something. She posted up a really nice tribute to him as well too. They were like best buds. So unfortunately, but prayers and wishes for strength and everything to Brent's family. The James family, and all those involved as well, too. Moving on to 2020, this will be the last thing we talk about for the history portion of the program. Keith Urban, who was just in town, was number one on the U.S. country chart with the 11th studio album, The Speed of Now, Part 1. Did you listen to that album? Did you even know it existed? Well, now you do. So that's a look at country music history and birthdays on this date, October 3rd. Not necessarily 2025, but that's when this episode was recorded. So there you go. Last but not least, going to end with a bang here. There's this guy out there. He's from Maryland, Odenton, Maryland, as a matter of fact. He had this song, came out 4 years ago now, I think it was. It wasn't that big. It's called Don't Come Looking. Yeah, who am I kidding? It was huge. Jackson Dean. He's actually back on the charts. He's got a new song out that I think you should listen to. I think you're going to enjoy it. Jackson Dean had some great stuff. Don't Come Looking, of course, the one that put him on the map, the biggest one for him. Fearless was the follow-up to that, and I thought that song was even better than Don't Come Looking. And then he's got a song called Train as well, which is pretty cool to check out. And then a song called Heavens to Betsy, which those of us that have been around for a while have heard that as a colloquialism, I guess you could say, to mean something. It was supposed to be like, oh, heavens to Betsy. It was like, oh my God. It would be this generation's version of oh my God. Well, there's a little bit of a interesting story behind that, and we'll get into that now. Why don't we do it now? Because it's not just a dated phrase. Dean took it actually literally. Here's the thing. The song is about a father looking down from heaven on his daughter. And if that doesn't get your eyes watering like it is mine right now, and it's not because of all the lights we got going on here, then I don't know. You might not be a dad with parents. I mean, or a dad with parents. You might be a dad with kids. You're clearly a dad with parents, but maybe you're not a dad with kids. Although in order to be a dad, you have to have kids, right? So anyway, Heavens to Betsy, check it out. I think you're going to want to bring some Kleenex with you as well. But why should you be listening to Make a Liar? If you are a fan of Jackson Dean, if you like his stuff, you're going to love this song. It's a little bit of he's taken a little bit of a side track, shall we say, a little bit of a diversion off of the stuff that he's normally does, but it's still, his good quality vocals, that brashy voice that he's got, and that outlaw quality that he's just got to him. And I can't say enough about this guy. Don't Come Looking, such a huge hit for him. But like I said, Fearless, if you haven't checked that song out, then you need to check that song out as well. To me, I can't even put into words what it can do for people who just need a little bit of a push, that we shouldn't be fearful of things. And that's exactly what the song is about. So you should be fearless when you're chasing your dreams. Just a little tip from me to you. Anyway, here's some cool stuff about Jackson Dean. Did you know that before performing music, he actually worked on kids? He worked on like a kids tourism boat in Annapolis, Maryland. Yeah. He was dressed as a pirate. Can you imagine that? Can you imagine Jackson Dean like being a pirate going, "Arr," and then like trying to sing "Don't Come Looking," like "Don't come looking," arr, right? Like, I mean, he should do something like that, like a quick 30-second video and put it up on YouTube. There you go. It's free, no charge. Here's the thing though, he called himself Pirate Pete, so that's kind of funny. He is a skilled artisan. He creates leather goods, and he does some like wood burned art stuff. So, there's more layers to this guy, and I think that's part of what makes him so interesting to me. He loves going outdoors. He's a huge outdoorsman. He likes exploring the woods. He'll sleep under the stars. So, ladies, if you like glamping, this is not the guy for you. But hey, maybe check him out because you'll probably like his music. He's got a connection to the wilderness that's so strong that one of his backup plans, if music doesn't work for him, is that he's going to go out to Jeremiah Johnson and live off the grid in a cabin. If you've ever listened to Jackson Dean stuff, he's got that like out in the woods kind of feeling to him. He's got that like almost like native Indian-esque, like that man that you just find he's out in the woods in the middle of nowhere kind of thing, and he's just living this life. That's some of the stuff that kind of comes across for me in his music. Now, he grew up in a construction family. His brothers worked for his father's construction business. He did a lot of manual labor. And then when he was 13, his family's house burned down. And while they were rebuilding, he started playing the guitar as a way to escape from, the pain of having to deal with that. I mean, can you imagine at 13 years old, your house burns down? He taught himself by watching videos online. Another one of these artists who just, a tragedy struck in their life and it created some greatness. And that's the cool thing. The story that I kind of wanted to share with you today is don't let tragedy in your life kind of like, put you to the wayside. Get up, dust yourself off. It doesn't matter how many no's you hear. Keep following your dream and keep going after that. Jackson Dean, another one of these guys, on a long list of guys who, didn't let hardship get him down. Yeah, there's pain. Yeah, there's time to heal, of course, but you can also go through that and you can thrive and you can do what it is you love doing, like me, doing what I'm doing. So get out there, do what you want to do. Don't let anybody tell you no. Follow your dreams. And you know what? Maybe one day I'll be talking about you. So check out Jackson Dean's song, Make a Liar, because I think you're going to enjoy it. I love it. Jackson Dean, he's such a great story, His debut single went straight to number one. Like literally, the first time I heard it, it came back out, it's like 2022, I think it was when it came out. I heard that song and I was like, number one, done. Like it was so different for the time that it came out. And it just had this like outlaw feel. It was right on the brink of when all of the outlaw country stuff started coming out. And it was one of those things where I was just like, yeah, this guy's got, you could tell his influences just from his music, funk, country, blues, rock from his mom, reggae from one of his brothers, heavy metal from another one of his brothers. You can hear all of those influences in all of his music. So if you like any of those musics or any of those categories of music, I should say, listen to Jackson Dean. This may be your window to the country world, shall we say. So check him out. The song that just came out, I think it was like 2 weeks ago, Make a Liar, Jackson Dean. Check it out. It'll be on the playlist on Spotify as well, too. And again, thank you guys so much for watching, listening, supporting, sending in your comments, your likes. There's a birthday shout-out coming up that's going to happen, too, by the way. So if you've got a birthday shout-out you want to do, we'll do that as well, too, here on the show. But I thank you all for your support. Keep following your dreams. Keep pushing. Keep chasing. You're going to get where you want to go. It just takes time. Sometimes, a little bit of time. Sometimes it happens right away. Either way, don't stop doing it. That's this week's episode. Thank you guys so much for joining us. We'll be back next week with all brand new stuff to cover, brand new music. We'll talk about the 5 picks from the week as well. And of course, there'll be some other stuff along the way. Like I said, don't forget, you'll start seeing some of these special episodes come up on Monday, little bonus footage, as we like to call it, some bonus clips stuff, all on New on Music Row. You can only get it here on the Rise Network. Make sure you check that out on YouTube. You can check out some of the other great programs we got there. Can I Call You Dad? That pickleball episode is going to be coming out soon. You don't want to miss that. And then, of course, Cheesy Popcorn, which is another podcast that I'm a part of, so blessed to be a part of. Check that out. New episodes for that come out every Thursday. Everything is available on the Rise Network on YouTube. Cheesy Popcorn and New on Music Row are available in podcast form on Spotify and Apple Music. And I think Can I Call You Dad is out on podcast version in Spotify as well, too. So check that out. Give them likes, give them follows, leave comments, because we're looking for things to do for the episodes for next season for Can I Call You Dad as well, too. And you could be a part of it. But it's only here on the Rise Network. We'll see you next week. And until then, I'll see you on the flip side.